And by the time you just read further questions. Good morning, kids. Let's continue discussing the questions, and we have covered up to question number 6 yesterday. And now let's begin with question number 7. And question number 7 says, why burning of wood and cutting it into small pieces are considered as two different types of changes? So according to us, we know that one is this cutting of wood, and the other one is burning of wood.
Burning of wood is a chemical change.
Yeah, and Utkarsh gave me that answer. Yeah, burning is actually a
chemical change.
Chemical change.
Cutting of the wood is
cutting of logs is physical change.
Yes, Ritesh has also raised the hand. You may raise the hand and definitely I'll be asking you. No problem, even if you give the answer. So the first one is cutting, of course, is a physical change. Yeah, and burning, of course, is a
Chemical change.
chemical change. Burning in all cases will always be a chemical change. Okay. Then after that, describe how crystals of copper sulfate are prepared. For this, we have covered whole of the activity in the class also. I had shown you the crystals also, right? So in short, if I just take up the summary of it again, we need to prepare a saturated solution. We need to prepare a saturated solution of copper sulfate, add a few drops of H2SO4, dilute H2SO4 to that, allow it to cool down, and it is going to result into crystals of copper sulfate. Next question, explain how painting of iron gate prevented from rusting. This is an important one. Question number 9, for example, we are discussing how this painting basically prevents. So first thing first we need to understand is, yes, Kumud would like to answer that. And I'm removing this presentation for the time being. You keep that page of the textbook open so that I can see all of you on the screen. Yeah, Kumud was raising the hand. Ritesh, Devisha. So I will begin with Devisha.
Rusting of iron requires moisture and oxygen. By painting the iron gate, we prevent iron from contacting with moisture and oxygen.
Yes. So basically, the problem lies over here is that if you can break the contact, of the metal with that of moist air or moisture and oxygen, we can prevent it, right? We can keep it safe from being rusted. And for that, you can either go for painting, you can go for greasing it, you can go for using molten zinc on it, that is galvanization. So basic fundamental is that it is making a layer which does not allow the iron article to come in contact with moisture and oxygen. Next question now. Question number 10. Why rusting of iron objects is faster in coastal areas?
May I?
Yeah, Ritesh is also raising the hand and Utkarsh has raised the hand. Chirag is also there. Kumud, Prithvi. So I'll be asking all of you, don't worry. So I'll begin with Ritesh. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Ma'am, in coastal areas, there is more moisture in the air due to presence of sea. But in desert, there is a scarcity of water, and hence air is almost dry there. Both air and moisture are necessary conditions for rusting.
Yeah. Now the next I would like to ask Ritesh. I have asked Ritesh, why don't you keep the camera on, beta? Now Kumud will answer me. And after that, the next turn goes to Prithvi. Then Utkarsh. and of course Chirag. Yeah. Sumut.
In coastal areas, there is more moisture, and because of the saline water, rusting get become faster in saline water, and with the moisture, it also goes faster. That is why rusting happens more fastly in coastal areas.
Yeah. So I got the second concept. Now the next kid. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. In the coastal areas, the rusting of iron is faster because there is so much moisture in air, and there is so much oxygen also. So the iron will come in the contact of moisture and oxygen, and that's why there is rusting of iron is faster.
Yes. Next kid.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
As contact of moisture in the air in coastal area is higher than the air in desert, so the process of rusting is faster in the coastal area.
Correct. Next.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, in coastal areas there is so much salt and water with oxygen. As because of seawater, the iron gets rusted faster. So and also it has water more than in desert. So it will rust faster than in desert in coastal areas.
Correct. So let's understand the important reason for that is because, see, always remember that air is present all over the earth. All over the earth it is present, right? But oxygen uniformly present all over, but it is the moisture content that varies. Now, near coastal areas, the moisture content is too high. Now, there are two concepts I got from you. Some of the students, they were saying that it is the moisture that is responsible for rusting faster in the coastal areas. Some other students also added that it is the saline. I would request the kids to please behave in the class. Yeah. So this saline, basically, remember that more amount of salt is actually applicable to the kids, wherein, please remember, saline will be applicable in those areas wherein you are dipping the substance in water. That means if they are asking you this question, why the ships in sea water or in oceans, okay, those ships, they get rusted faster, then in that case, definitely we are going to include more amount of salt concept to that. But if they are asking you coastal areas will be having more percentage of moisture in it. Clear? Oxygen is present, and in addition to oxygen is present all over the world, all over the earth. Clear? But near the coastal areas, moisture content is also high. And due to that, more moisture content, the rusting becomes faster. What if I am asked that why ships which are sailing in sea water or marine water, why do they get rusted more and more? More frequently, we have to change the parts.
They are galvanized.
And in that case, yeah, they are galvanized, they take all the care, beta, but still then they have to change it. See, the amount of salt is so much more that it keeps on decaying many parts. They have to change it. They have to do servicing of their ships. Every year they have to change parts, and that again is a loss to shipping industry. All right. So let's move ahead with the next question. Question number 11. For question number 11, we have discussed previously in a previous question. That was question number 5 when we wrote the answer. That if we are using LPG, once LPG comes from the cylinder, liquid to gaseous state, that is a physical change. And if you are burning it, that is a chemical change. We have covered that in the yesterday's lecture, right? Now read out the options very carefully. Read out, there are 4 options given. It says change A. What is this change A they are indicating? Change A is once it comes out from the cylinder and becomes gas. That is change A. Conversion of, this is change A. That is LPG from liquid to gaseous state. And second change, that is change B. Change B is burning of LPG.
Ma'am, the answer is change. The process B.
Answer. Before we move ahead for the answer, once again, let's recall that this change is a physical change
Yes.
and this one is a chemical change. Now let's read the options. There are 4 options mentioned below.
Process B is a chemical change.
The first option says process A is a chemical change, which is wrong.
No.
Process A is actually a
Okay,
physical change.
change.
So option A is wrong. Next, second one says process B is a chemical change.
Yes, ma'am.
That is right, of course. So for us, for the time being, second is the correct option. But we'll move ahead and read the third one also. Third one, burning, yes, of course. Vivek is right. Burning is a chemical change. Third one, both process A and B are chemical.
No, ma'am. A is
No.
not a chemical change.
A is physical, so it is wrong. Then none of these processes is a chemical, that is also wrong.
No, ma'am. Because
So
B is a chemical change.
Yeah, we are left only with the second right option. That is process B is a chemical change. Now let's write down for question number 12 and try and understand that. Question number 12. It says, anaerobic bacteria digest animal waste and produce biogas. That means change A and B, again they are writing change A. Change A is wherein waste gets converted to biogas. This is change A. And they had used one term there, anaerobic bacteria. See, bacteria basically work on all these waste, but once you say anaerobic means these are those bacteria which can survive without air. Without air. Okay, because they keep the lid closed wherein this decomposition goes on. So the bacteria that develops there is actually anaerobic bacteria. The first change is we had put in some waste, maybe some cow dung, some leaf and all those waste, vegetable waste, and allowed it to decay for some time. Okay, maybe for 2, 4, 7 days. And due to that, what happens? There is a gas that started developing, and that gas they release is actually biogas. That means decomposition of the waste releases biogas. Actually, biogas is as good. We can call it as gobar gas also. It does not have the smell of gobar or the cow dung. That gas is as good. That gas is actually as good as your LPG or methane. Either of the gases you compare, it's a good fuel. And at many places all over India, many villages, they have this gobar gas plant with them. Okay, kids? Now the first change is, of course, that we have allowed the vegetable waste to decay, and after decaying, that has resulted into the formation of biogas. This is first change. Second, of course, we are familiar with the second change. Change B is burning. Burning of biogas. Of course, burning of biogas, we know that it
Chemical
is
change.
a chemical change. But let me tell you about the change A also again.
Ma'am, it is also
We have kept all the waste in a pit, in a big pit, in a big vessel, in a container, in a biogas plant, and allowed it to decay. Actually, the decay process goes for around 60 days. And then it starts releasing the biogas. The pressure builds up just like pressure cooker on the top of it, and the gas will be released through the pipeline. It is supplied. And you will wonder to know that there are many villages, they light up the streets using this biogas. All right. So that means, first simple question. Before the reaction, we had all the waste. What all do we have? We had actually there all the cow dung was there, and the leaf waste, the vegetable waste, all those wastes were there. But after the reaction completed, we don't have that. We have a gas with us. Remember the characters of chemical change, we have written evolution of gas, right? A gas is released. Can you recollect? We have written some of the characters that how will you identify that chemical reaction has taken place. One among them was that the gas is formed. So here gas has been formed. From the waste, biogas is formed, yes or no?
Yes,
When
ma'am.
the gas is formed, of course, that means this is also a chemical
Change.
Moreover, I know that I cannot get back cow dung and the leaf waste after 60 days. It has been decomposed. So please remember, decomposition is actually a chemical change. You cannot get back what you had initially. Right? Now, how will I remember in day-to-day life? For example, there was this banana peel. केले का छिलका कहीं गिर गया सड़क पे या हमारे गार्डन में और वो सड़ गया बहुत दिनों के बाद. That is actually decomposition. Can we get that original peel of banana back? No.
No.
It is irreversible. It's a chemical change. Did you get that? That means, let's see the options now. Option C says process A is chemical change, right? Option B, process B chemical change, right? Option third, both processes A and B are chemical changes. That's given. Third option is given on page number 67, top Nitya. Can you read
A
that?
and B are chemical
Can you
change.
read that?
It is the answer.
Nitya got the third point. Third point on the top of the page, page number 67. Top. Third point is mentioned. Got it? That third point is our answer actually. It is the right option. Both process A and B are chemical changes. So for us, the correct option will be the third one. Right? Because both are chemical changes. This actually completes the questions. Now let's move ahead, understand. Extended learning, there are 3 questions, very interesting questions. The first one says, 2 changes that are harmful and why you consider them as harmful. For example, rusting is harmful, we know. Okay. All right, rusting is very, very harmful. And around us, any other change would you like to dictate which is actually harmful to us? Any change that is harmful to us according to you? Any change? It may be physical. I gave you one.
Ma'am, cutting of trees.
Cutting of trees, of course, is harmful.
Decaying of fruits.
Huh?
Decaying of fruits.
Decaying of fruits. Yeah, well, we will say that rotting of fruits. They rot on their own. You bring the fresh fruit, and if you don't eat it in time, it will start rotting up on its own. Yes, that is also undesirable change. Yeah. Well, of course. Next question is, we are going to understand this question number 2. Question number 3 says preparation of alum. Preparation of alum is question number 3. The the way of making crystal is as same as I had explained you about making the crystals of sugar. We are supposed to make a concentrated, saturated solution of alum, allow it to cool down, and you will get the crystals of alum. That's an easy one. Fourth one is also like theoretical, you need to collect the information. But basically, we are focusing on question number 2. That's an interesting question. Try to read the question by the time I'm trying to explain it on the board. Question number 2 on page number 67 under the heading Extended Learning. Question number 2 under the heading Extended Learning. Question number 2. You are supposed to write down these 4 also, and let me explain that to you. Bottle A, B, and C. There are 3 bottles. Instead of taking a bottle, I'm taking the shape here, more or less. So this is actually bottle A, this is B, and this is C. What have we taken in A?
Ma'am, ordinary
Tap water. This is ordinary tap water. And bottle B,
Boiled water.
boiled water.
Pond water.
Yes,
several minutes.
several minutes. Basically, in C also we are filling the same only.
Yes, ma'am.
It is
Yes.
boiled water, ma'am.
Yeah, in both the cases, hard boiled water we say. Actually, boiled several times means basically hard boiled water we are taking up. Boiled water, and here also boiled water, right? In bottle C, take the same boiled water of the same amount as in bottles, and then you put one nail in all of them, and this was actually same level we are keeping. There is no variation in the level of water. And then we have put this oil layer. Read the remaining part. We are going to add a few drops of oil, and oil being lighter will be there on the surface. Oil to the water in bottle C, only in C. Understood? Now let's see. Before moving ahead and jumping to the answer, let's understand the condition in all the 3. They are saying that we are supposed to remove the nails after a few days to see what happens. But first of all, let's see the condition. This is ordinary tap water and the bottle is open. That means this bottle A has water and oxygen. Water and oxygen both. Can you see that? Water
Yes,
and
ma'am.
yes, water and oxygen means the nail will rust. Right? After a few days, when you remove, you will find a rusted nail there. Here you have boiled the water. Boiling water will remove all the gases. Once the water starts boiling, it removes all the gases present in it, including oxygen. Clear? So this has only H2O. It does not have oxygen. Will the nail rust here?
No.
No, ma'am.
No. So here the answer will be no rust. Why? Because there is no
Oxygen.
oxygen. Is there no oxygen here?
मैम ऊपर से ऑक्सीजन आ सकती है.
That's what. Let's move ahead and understand the third, and then we'll get back to second again. Here, this was boiled water. So, no oxygen. And oxygen
has
should
layer.
not come. To prevent that oxygen, because the bottle is open, and oxygen should not come in contact. All right. For that, what we have done? We have put a layer of oil. So here, no oxygen is possible at all. We have boiled the water. Boiling removes oxygen. Boiling removes oxygen. So oxygen has already gone, right? But oxygen should not be added from the top of the bottle. To avoid that, we have added a few drops of oil here. That means there is no chance for oxygen to come in contact with the iron nail. That clearly means that there is no rusting here. Why no rust? Because no oxygen entry is possible. First step we have boiled, but boiling we did in B and C both. After boiling, if you are keeping the water open like this, oxygen may enter and come in contact with the nail. So in system B, definitely oxygen will come and join. And here also rust will take place. The only test tube where rusting will not take place is test tube or the bottle C.
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 Did you understand, my kids?
Yes, ma'am.
Let me again explain it to you.
Yes, ma'am.
Option bottle A is very clear to us. Okay, there is oxygen, there is water, rusting will take place. Agreed. Bottle B and C. In both the cases, we have taken hard boiled water. Once we are boiling it, all the oxygen gone. But we did one clever thing that in bottle C, we have added a few drops of oil. That oil has sealed the surface of water. And if the surface is sealed, that means no more oxygen can be added. So here in this case, no rusting. But here, of course, with water, oxygen will get added from the surface. From the air above the water, the oxygen will get added here and this nail will rust. Is this activity understood? Now the last thing on the page, which that also we are supposed to write down, wherein it says, did you know? Did you know? That's a miracle actually. There is a pillar near Qutub Minar. That's more than 7 meters high. Around 6,000 kg of weight it carries. You know, if we build an iron article, it gets damaged in maximum 50 years, 60 years if you are not taking care of it. And this pillar, students, this is actually made up of pure iron, and researchers have done n number of researches on this, nationally, internationally, and they could not find out the reason why this iron doesn't get rusted. Total iron it is. It has got no mixing of any other chemical to that. It is not an alloy. It's not steel, it is iron. And see the age of that pillar. If you happen to go to Delhi and go near to this Qutub Minar, because,
1600 years.
yeah,
1600 years, ma'am.
yes, 1600 years, right? 1600 years. And there is not even a single spot of rust on it. And it is lying in open, wind, water, air, every damn thing. And it is not getting even a single spot of rust on it. For that, people have done researches on it a number of times. That is again a miracle of Indians, of course, created 1600 years back. But till date, it is a miracle. And of course, a matter of curiosity for many scientists all over the world. So that's all from my side today. And today I'm going to assign you are supposed to write down the exercise questions. And of course, extended learning, all 4 questions. And of course, this, did you know about this pillar near to Qutub Minar? All right. Take care, kids. Happy learning. Complete your work in time and upload it.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you,
Okay.
ma'am.
Okay, kids.
Bye, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Bye.